The Jacob Wetterling case is one of the most heartbreaking stories in American history, a tragedy that changed the nation's approach to missing children forever. The 1989 abduction of 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling in St. Joseph, Minnesota sent shockwaves through the country and led to significant changes in laws designed to protect children. Let's take a closer look at the events surrounding Jacob's disappearance and the long, painful journey to uncover the truth. It was a typical autumn evening on October 22, 1989. Jacob, his younger brother Trevor, and their friend Aaron decided to ride their bikes to a nearby convenience store to rent a video. It was a simple, innocent outing, one that many kids their age would make. But on the way back, the unimaginable happened. A masked man armed with a gun appeared out of the darkness and forced the boys to stop. He ordered them to lie face down on the ground, asked each of them their age, and then told Trevor and Aaron to run into the woods without looking back. When they finally dared to turn around, Jacob and the man were gone. The search for Jacob began immediately. Law enforcement, along with hundreds of volunteers, combed the area, desperately hoping to find any trace of the missing boy. Despite their efforts, there was no sign of Jacob or his abductor. The case quickly gained national attention, and Jacob's face became a haunting symbol of the many missing children across the country. People all over America followed the case closely, hoping for any news of his safe return. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the hopes of finding Jacob alive began to fade. Yet his family refused to give up. Patty and Jerry Wetterling, Jacob's parents, became tireless advocates for missing children. They channeled their grief into action, working to create systems that would protect other families from the same nightmare. Their advocacy led to the passage of the Jacob Wetterling Act in 1994, the first federal law to establish a sex offender registry in the United States, a crucial step in helping law enforcement monitor individuals convicted of crimes against children. But while the Wetterlings fought for other children, they still didn't know what had happened to their own son. For years, the case remained unsolved, with countless leads and tips leading to dead ends. The Wetterling family and their community lived with the constant pain of not knowing, always hoping for answers but never getting them. Then, in 2015, after nearly 26 years of uncertainty, there was a breakthrough. Danny Heinrich, a man who had been a person of interest in the case early on, was arrested on unrelated charges of child pornography. During questioning, Heinrich confessed to Jacob's abduction, assault, and murder. He led authorities to a remote area where he had buried Jacob's remains shortly after taking his life that terrible night in 1989. The news was devastating, confirming the worst fears that the Wetterlings had carried for so long. Heinrich's confession revealed the horrifying truth of what Jacob had endured. Despite the pain, there was some solace in finally knowing the truth and being able to bring Jacob home for a proper burial. As part of a plea deal, Heinrich was not charged with Jacob's murder, but instead was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison on the child pornography charges. The deal was deeply painful for Jacob's family and the community, but it ensured that they would finally have answers and could give Jacob the dignity of a final resting place. The impact of Jacob Wetterling's case cannot be overstated. His abduction and the long quest for answers brought about lasting changes in how missing children cases are handled and how sex offenders are monitored in the United States. His legacy continues through the ongoing work of the Wetterling family, who have dedicated their lives to advocating for child safety and the prevention of abductions. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss our next videos.